came to this conference because
The theme, Science and Engineering Solutions for Safety, Security and Success in Mining.
Our next presentation is by Mr. Michael Naarendorp. He is a Surinamese. Mr. Naarendorp from neighboring Suriname is the CEO for Nano Resources, and their expertise is in the application of and reporting of technologies to improve project management and to ascribe acceptability to the mining projects that they undertake. Mr. Naarendorp is here at the invitation of Mr. Joachim Bayer, and we thank him for having them here. And he will be presenting on the subject, Enabling Technologies in Small-Scale Mining, an example from Suriname. Mr. Naarendorp.
Okay, good morning everybody. Thanks for having me here. It's my first visit in Guyana, and I'm very happy that I came to this conference because it was really an eye-opener for me what is happening here. I'm not a geologist, I'm not a mining engineer, I'm not a process engineer, I'm just an information technology engineer. Nano Resources is a, let's say, medium-scale mining company, but like 5-6 years ago, we were not even a mining company. I really started as a small company. It's a family business, so I had an opportunity to come back in the business and be part of this beautiful company. Because I'm an information technology engineer, this was all new to me, like 7 years ago. And one advantage when you're in information technology, specifically software engineering, you have to understand and listen to what your customers want. Because if you build an information system for a regular merchandise company, for a tax administration, for a gold mining company, you have to listen and understand what the problems are in order to bring some efficiency, add value to the operation. So I will talk today a little bit about who we are so you can put everything what I say in a specific context. Some characterizations of our operation so you can really relate it to the way you do mining here. And then I'll talk on my area, you know, where I feel good on information technology and some conclusions. So we were established in 1992 by our founder, my father, who's here. We currently have around 70 employees and contractors, and we have 20,000 hectares in exploitation concession. We had major exploration efforts in '95 and in 2006 by Golden Star and Reunion. So we have quite some exploration information. And based upon that, we started with our small-scale mining methods to start an operation there. Currently, we process around 40 cubic meters ore per hour, and we run a 24-hour production line. These last two things, we really had to come there because otherwise we would be dead today. So where are we? We are around 250 kilometers southeast of Paramaribo. There are no roads to that area, so the whole operation should have a major logistic operation. Because if you don't have fuel, you have like 40, 50 people there that you need to feed, or you don't have parts or for your consumables for your operation, and you get your breakdowns, you're in serious trouble. Currently, we operate here, and some of the characterizations we have a high morale in the team, and you need to have that because we've been talking about recovery methods and mining techniques and all those things. But the basic is, the human capital that you have in your organization. You cannot do anything with good and reliable people, specifically if you're in gold. They will carry the weight before you even see anything. Most of the things around the operation we do to either improve efficiency, reduce costs, improve safety, extend the mine life, and improve the environmental impact of the operation. So I've heard a lot about safety and the mines here, and this is one overview you can see of our mine. And we really have some artists there making benches, and it's almost like, they try to make even nicer and better benches every time they remove a block. We have had presentations over ore characterizations, and earlier from my friend and brother Joe, how to recover, depending on the particle size. And what we have noticed, working with one of our partners a couple of years ago, is that by extending the sluice operation with a centrifugal concentrator, we have operated this now in 5 mines. We have either we have more or less doubled our production constantly. So in the current mine that we operate, we have 40% of the production comes from the sluice, and the 60%, the finer gold, comes from the centrifugal concentrators. And I've just heard a question about how do you know about the particle size, this and that. Well, this is a result from an assay with a sieve test and then fire assays on these various sizes to see how the distribution was of the gold. But what really triggered me? We have somebody in the gold room that is deaf, mute, and he's like, So he tried to say there's very fine gold, and we're not catching it. So we had this from the previous mine, these centrifugal concentrators, and the previous mine manager, who is not with us anymore, refused to install it. And I said, we already have it. Let's try it. It doesn't work. We remove it again. And up to now, it has been responsible for 60% of the production. So, with that open mind, you should try. If we always say the sluice can carry around 30%, 25%, you're satisfied with just leaving the 75% go? I mean, you have to make an effort to do something with it. So this is the centrifugal setup that we have. We just have a vibrating screen here on top. After the sluice, in the beginning of the process, we have what we call an iron sluice, which basically is a grizzly and some sluices on it. And we separate here the smaller particles, and they go in the centrifuges. A very big advantage of this method, right? Besides that it is responsible for more than half of my production, is that it gives me data. We discharge this every 2 hours. It means that in one shift of 10 hours, or after a full day, I have a lot of data. Okay, so within 24 hours, I know what has happened in my organization in terms of recovery of the gold here. And that information, I will show you later, is being used in an information system that allows me, that doesn't have any understanding of those very technical things, but know if things are changing in the whole process. We've heard a little bit about the importance of tailings and water management. This is our tailing pond. We have our water supply here, 1 dam here, 3 more dams here, and we give back cleaner water to nature than what we get up front in the process. And again, it was not a major effort to do that, but you should be willing to do that. And again, if you understand the importance of giving clean water back to the environment, this is a doable case. But again, if the bottom line is very thin, you can imagine that people start to shortcut all these things. So it is important that you can run a very efficient operation so people won't shortcut, miners won't shortcut on these important matters. So you saw some pictures of our operation, and basically what I tried to say, we have some processes, exploration, mining, moving the ore, processing, and ultimately getting the gold, and obviously some supporting services. But what you need, and I've heard questions yesterday, yeah, but we need data, we need scientific data to know what is happening. So what you need is information, and you shouldn't get it 1 or 2 months after you did it, because you might already be out of business. So you need information in a timely manner. You even preferably want to have it frequently so you can see what the trends are in your business. And you want it of your key processes. You see, you want, Joe said it very nice this morning, you look at the revenue. You don't focus on the small cost if you know that you have very high cost, or you're not focusing on the 30% that you recover and see how you can refine that, and you don't even focus on the 70% that you already lost. So you have to go back and focus on those things that you should give priority. Like, of course, the safety of the environment, of the operation, but you should also look at what are the big variables that you can control that will contribute to the bottom line. So I will talk now a little bit about information technology, and are there any information technology people here in the room? Are there miners here? I think that's a problem too. No miners? Yeah. Well, I hope the organization take note of this, that there should be more miners here next year. I think it's very important.
For the last 22 years.
Yeah, so you have to do a better job there. The history about information. Who has here a smartphone? Using WhatsApp and stuff like that, applications, internet on it, even if it's slow in Guyana, no problem. Okay, in the past, what we used to have is obviously paper systems, right? Put everything on paper. I heard a story a couple of days ago in the old Suralco plant that you had to take all kinds of variables in the process. So obviously, it ends up on a desk of some manager that they can take a decision, to steer the whole process in the right direction. At a certain point, when we got computers available for the bigger, the wider crowd, that if you wanted to do an information system, what you get is you hire some programmer, and he will listen to, how you run your business, and he will make some software for you. So he tells you to buy the server, he makes a program for you, and after 6 months, 9 months, you get something that doesn't work because your business has been changed, he has programmed quite some bugs for you. So it was not really successful. A lot of IT projects fail. I think it's over an 80% ratio that just fails. So the next generation was, it's better that you source it out. Get somebody that is specialized. His core business is making systems. They go often to trainings. They are in the industry, so they understand how to build successful information systems. So you get this company inside, often an expensive consultant. You pay them $100. That is Guyanese dollars, how much? Anyway. It's okay, all right. Anyway, you pay them a lot of money because they make a system only for you. You have to buy the hardware, you put it in your organization, you get all the supporting staff to keep that system up and running. And after 6 months, you have a system. Maybe the quality is a little bit better, but you have paid for every hour. That is very expensive. So not lots of systems, only big companies use the systems, and the small companies keep on using paper records. The next trend was the industry starts to offer standard packages. So they build something because you can offset these investment hours not on one client, but on multiple clients. That's why you can buy QuickBooks, and it's not only built for you, so you have some decent financial system that you can pay for it as a smaller organization. But again, you have to buy the server, you put the system on, you need to maintain it, and so on and so forth. What do we have today? I know everybody here has an email account. Yes? Yeah, right. Not everybody? Okay. I'm sure you all don't have an email server, that hosts the mailbox and all these things. You don't have that. Because you use probably Gmail or Yahoo or some other free mail, and the only thing you need to have is your device and an internet connection, right? And if you want your own email address, so you don't want to have michael@gmail.com, you want Michael at Nana Resources, you pay $5 United States, which is 1,000 Guyanese. Okay. Anyway, I think it's payable. But even better, if you want that mailbox now, you can sit here on your phone, and while I talk, you have your mailbox. So the implementation time is very short. Gmail is very reliable because Gmail has a huge development team. They invest millions, if not billions of dollars in developing high quality solutions that you can implement in a timely manner. So software as a service allows you to have access to high quality services. The services we are using at Nana Resources are also used by BMW, by Google, by Intel, by lots of big companies. And we don't make that much money as they do. But I can afford these high quality services because of the model. Another advantage is I don't need any server infrastructure. So what I need is a device. Today you can have a simple tablet for around 200 United States dollars, and you need internet access. And even that is not too expensive because everybody is WhatsApping, so you can use that same connection to run your business. The implementation time is very short because the whole tool is readily available with support. And what executives like to hear, no capital investment. I mean, the capital investment is the phone. The first time I did some research to implement a system in our little mining business, it was like at least 50,000 United States dollars. Buy server, people come in, install server, training, all these things. And we couldn't just, justify that investment with that risk, not even knowing if that system will bring the added value, give me the control over the business that I need. So what we did is we started to build a system using those services and making sure that, having that data to take the right decisions. One very important thing that we do in this process is we have made. So what we basically did is you said we have a business process. Let's take production. As Joe said, you have some parameters in the production that are very important to know. How much ore did I process? What was the grade of the ore? What is the price of gold? And what is my recovery to ultimately know how much did I make? So what we did is we took one of those services, which is a service that you can design your own forms because you need to collect the data. This is nothing else than an electronic form. Just like you have paper forms, you just create your electronic forms. You can even add some business rules so people cannot fill in the 30th of February or the choice of the pick list is limited to the options you want them to choose from, and you get that data. An important thing that we did here is we don't put an administrative office and say, you get the data at a certain point, and you put it in the system, and after 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, you get some data. I gave that cheap tablet right at the source in the base process. So what you will see in this next slide is this gentleman who doesn't, well, he knows IT, he knows WhatsApp and things like that. Okay, but it's not his, he's one of our gold room team members. So his specialty is how do I recover the gold? But I gave him a tablet. I told him when he's off duty, he can go on WhatsApp and things like that. He can use the tablet, but when your shift ends, you fill in this form. Okay? The last form that I received was yesterday when I was in the hotel around 7 p.m. and my production data of Sunday was in my information system. Okay? And that is something that is very valuable to me because now I can ask critical questions to my team. Why was the feed low? Pump was down. Why don't we have a spare pump? We forgot. Who is responsible for that? So you can ask now the right questions to make sure that this does not happen again. Now, if I didn't have that information, maybe at the end of the month I would see production is low. I would ask, and that same issue had happened maybe 10 times in the month, and I had a major loss. So by making things visible in a timely manner, it allows me now, or at least get some expertise to help me to take decisions on certain matters. Here again, you can see, and I've heard that I should emphasize on this, but the fact that we have this little unit here that just asked me 20% more labor, a team of 5, I had to add 1. My energy cost to supply with water and current, my total cost to add this unit was less than 30%, and it doubled my production. And that is the difference between making money and losing money. Okay? And one advantage is because I'm not an expert on all these exploration, geology, I'm just listening. And I try to understand the logic. What makes sense, what doesn't make sense. And it's all, but each step that you do should bring some value to the end process. And if it doesn't do it, you should ask should you do it, yes or no? We have a mill because the tailings of this could easily go in a mill and you process it and you get finer particle size and you can recover that. But at the current price, I said, no mill. Because the mill has too much consumables. It takes too much energy. I have to put too much hammers in. I said, I will wait, stock the tailing, and when the price is right, we will process it. But if you don't have that information, you think you work hard because everybody's working hard and sweating, and we have nice small particle size, but we didn't make money. So what is the essence of doing it? This is an example of the dashboard. So I can see right away per shift exactly what is the production. Did it go up or down? Did the feed go up and down? Did the effective work time go up and down? And it puts me in a position to ask the right questions. Fuel management, the same. And the reason why I show you these 2 ones first is because 100% of my revenue comes from this. And 40%, 30 to 40% of my cost comes from fuel consumption. So I need to know, what is my stock to make sure, because we have a challenging logistical operation. So I always need to know how much days of fuel do I have if I get a logistical challenge. Here, I know exactly how the fuel was used. So I see almost 40% of my fuel consumption is only to use the jets, because right now we don't use electrical pumps. So it directly make the use case for me, go and look at electrical pumps, because experts told me it's a no-brainer. So I'm not an electrical engineer, but I like the bottom line. So I'm going to look into it and make sure that we get some cost savings here to have a better performance. Again here, cost analysis. So I can see trends in certain costs and take decisions to have a better bottom line and allow us to invest in those things that are important to the organization, to have a safe environment, to make sure that you mine in a proper way. So if I may conclude, there are a lot of things that I can't control. I mean, the LMA price, it's there. I cannot do anything about it. I can't do anything about the weather. I can't do anything about the price of energy. We know there is some risk. The way we work, that we don't have large reserves defined, so we have to do it block by block. But what I do know is that I need to have real-time information on things that I can control. So that's why it is very important for us to have that information at our fingertips to take the right decisions in a timely manner so we can survive even if the price is under pressure. Thank you for your attention, and if you have any questions. Before I take questions, we partner with Philab Suriname, which is a laboratory, and we provide mining and environmental lab analysis. So, we are here to help the Guyanese mining sector, and we are willing to provide those services to you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I hope our miners locally can find a little more to having real-time information on what the operation is doing. But many miners wait until maybe the end of the week when they want to clean up the box to know how they were doing, what kind of material they were processing. Some, maybe the more enlightened ones, maybe might check it every day to see how the concentrate is developing and coming along. But there is something I would like to zero in on, but I don't know if you would want to disclose. The bottom line for the operation has to be the operating cost. Now you're using an excavator, and you're using a truck, and you have this plant set up. The truck can maybe move material from about 3-5 miles out to this central point for processing. In Guyana, anytime a small or medium scale miner asks for the use of an excavator, he's talking about like 6 pennyweight an hour.
You're talking about what?
6
Like
pennies
6
a
pennyweight
Okay.
gold an hour. That translates to like 60,000 roughly. It is about 300 US. And that's just for 1 hour. Now to give him material to work for a week, that excavator might need to give him 3 hours of work. So right away you go on to 6318 pennyweight, right? That's 10 ounce. Then he has to buy fuel. Fuel on the average, depending on where you are, might be another half pennyweight a drum. He's going to be using, if he doesn't have an excavator, just 2 pumps, the Marak engine and the water engine. He might use 1 drum of fuel a day. Going for 6 days, that's 6 drums. So that's another 3 pennyweight. Right? 3 pennyweight added to the 6 trees, to the 6 pennyweight, that's 9 pennyweight. No, 6 trees, 18. 18 pennyweight.
You have a notional cost.
4 pennyweight.
Right, you have a notional cost for what the bottom line is for him to operate.
So, in Guyana, once a guy is using an excavator, then more or less you gotta see double figure. You gotta add in the cost of spares, fuel, food, and so on. So, no 4 ounce, 5 ounce a day, 4 ounce, 5 ounce in a week, 6 ounce a week can't work for an excavator. So, coming back to your question, what's the operating cost for you in terms of US dollar for an operation of that size? That might give our miners an idea as to how they can move in towards industrializing or capitalizing on the operation.
Well, let me start by saying that we started like the typical small miner too. Okay, so like 7 years ago, we didn't have an excavator. So we started with 1. We had the same problems, not enough spare parts, so we had a lot of downtime. So we gradually grew and did the right investments. Obviously, we made quite some mistakes over time. I mean, that's the money you pay to learn. But the point I try to make is my IT talk today applies on any business. So it just is a story about you need to have information, critical information in a timely manner so you can take decisions. Now, last month because we took two important decisions. The first one was that after the previous manager left, we said, we're going to put back this centrifugal sluice. We put it back. And the second decision we took, we said we go from a one shift, 10-hour operation, we go to a double shift, a 24-hour operation. And that basically dropped my cost per ounce from 1,100, so we're running at break even the past few months, to last month we hit below 500. United States dollars. Okay? It hasn't to do with all the excavators I have and all those things. It's about taking the right decisions. So every miner has his own situation, whether it's with or without an excavator. But you need to have information and think out of the box. Go back to the basics. You need to have the right focus. Like Joe said, we focus on this 30% concentrate that we get, and we try to apply all kinds of technologies to get the maximum out of that 30%. Nobody thinks about the 70% that just goes away. So what I try to say today is, you need to get out of your comfort zone. Think out of the box, and make rational decisions. Like the price is 500, because when the price is low, it's challenging you to think and act fast and do the right things. If the price is 1,800, you can waste and it won't hurt you. So I heard this trip from one of the wise men in the group. Sometimes the low price, within the cycle is good because it makes our operation healthy.
Okay, thank you.
What's the grade of material to your plant? The grade you're working with?
I would say around 5 grams an ounce per ton. 5 grams per ton. Yeah.
That's healthy. A cubic meter. A cubic meter.
No, the recovery.
Recover the grade, okay.
Yeah.
And what concentrators are you using?
These are Brazilian concentrators. So they are, I've heard there are even some here in the market. So they are
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. In the interest of time, we're really behind time. But I will take Mr. Sparman because he's a minor.
Excuse me?
How often you wash out or clean up?
No, so the gold room is a separate department. So they get every 2 hours, they get the concentrate to clean up, but they report to me on a shift basis. So every half day they produce a report. And I get it basically because the gold room works only during day. So at 6 p.m. they submit gold reports from the previous night and the previous day.
Mr. Dennison,
Okay.
just a comment to close this thing up. What is important in this presentation is probably, on top of the IT and the timeliness, I think it's important to recognize the role of the centrifuges behind the sluice box and what contribution they make to the total production. Of 100 grams of gold produced, 60% comes from the concentrators, which are tagged at the end of the sluice box. That's significant, if anything.
And that is not theoretical. This is practice. It is not in one mine. This is in all our mines. Okay, so it's not, it's like a pattern, yeah.
All right. So the final time, thank you very much for that successful presentation. Really.